Ross Fisher's enjoying a season to remember. Golfing World's Anna Whiteley caught up with the world number 43 at the Open Championship to find out the reasons behind his success.
Ross, it is so good to see you here at the Open Championship. You are enjoying the best year of your career so far. How much fun is life right now, being in contention almost week in, week out?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's been a while, but yeah, like you say, best form of my career is a nice thing to sort of hear. You know, back in, I suppose, 08, 09, I was kind of challenging in major championships, so kind of missed that for a number of years. So especially this year, it's been nice to see the form come back to where I know it should be. And like you say, being back at a place where I did pretty well last time, it was here in 2008. So this is where you want to be. You want to be in majors and test yourself against the best players in the world.
We last caught up with you back in January in Abu Dhabi, the first event of the year, where you were really working on your putting with the great Ken Brown. I feel like that has unlocked something for you, because your putting's been on fire.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, yeah, I remember that vividly, sort of chatting to you in January at Abu Dhabi. Just recently started working with Ken, and then I think the big thing was Mexico. The week before, I was sitting with my caddy Woody at the house at Lake Nona, getting ready for Mexico, and kind of just sat back and thought, you know, Jason Day's been using the Spider, Dustin Johnson switched to it, and then we were watching the Honda Classic and I saw Ryan Palmer was leading, and coincidentally he was using one, so I kind of thought, you know, what's the crack with the Spider putter? So I thought, you know what, I'll see if one of the boys is there in Mexico, and I saw Trotty from TaylorMade walk across the putting green with about 4 or 5 Spiders, and I sort of called him over and I said, oh, do you mind if I have a little look? Had a little look. Tried one out and was hitting putts from about 12, 15 feet, and I think I hold about 15 in a row. And I was like, oh, this seems pretty good. And then being a golfer and being, you know, like we are, we're very fickle. I was like, right, I need to change the grip, check the length of it and check the loft. And Woody was like, well, hold on a minute, you've just holed 15 putts in a row. Why the hell are you going to change it? I was like, yeah, fair point. So I sort of stuck with it, went out and finished tied third. So, you know, I haven't really looked back since then.
Is it a change like that then opens your mind psychologically, and then it's kind of a bit of a snowball effect in terms of your form just moving up from there?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just gave me a lot of confidence. You know, putting, I've always kind of thought myself as a bit of a streaky putter. You know, when I get on a roll, I feel like I can hold a lot of putts and win tournaments. But it's never been consistent. It's always been, you know, sometimes I'll make 5, 6, 7 birdies around, and then another time I might make 1 or 2. So it was just trying to get that consistency, really. And I think obviously with a change in equipment as well has been a big thing. You know, going back to the Titleist ball, which I had so much success throughout my career with, you know, it's kind of had, like you say, a snowball effect. You know, changing a few things, going back to the Vokey wedges, which has helped me as well. So it's kind of all fallen into place really, really nicely. So, you know, having the freedom and flexibility of being able to use what I want to use, try different stuff, and if I like it, I can put it in the bag because I'm under no contract with club manufacturers.
Yeah.
So it's been, you know, so far to date, a really great year.
Well, so far it's working. 6 top 10s, 2 top 5 finishes in the WGCs. Massive achievement. You look like you're feeling so comfortable on those big stages now, knocking out Bubba. What are those weeks like?
Just good fun. You know, Mexico was a bit of an eye-opener for everyone. You know, for me, thoroughly enjoyed the week. Obviously played really nicely. Obviously, highlight playing with Phil and Rory on the Saturday. Massive crowds. Gained a lot from that because I wasn't at my best, but I still managed to score and keep my score together. And then obviously finishing with 3 birdies on Sunday to go from like a decent week to all of a sudden a great week, which actually got me into the next WGC in the match play. So it kind of snowballed onto that, and then got there, felt really comfortable. Was under a bit of pressure because I wanted to get myself back into the Masters, and kind of tried to put it to the back of my mind, but it's always difficult to do that. And when I beat Louis and won my group, I thought I'd done enough, and then all of a sudden you hear you haven't done enough, you've got to beat Bubba. So kind of reset the mindset a little bit, and then when I took Bubba out, I still wasn't sure whether I was in, so I was just trying to enjoy the week. Unfortunately didn't play quite as well as I wanted to against Tanahara. But obviously to find out, consolation was I was back at the Masters was a great achievement, and that was my goal at the start of the year, was to play good golf, get in the WGCs and get myself into the Masters. So to have achieved that was really, really satisfying.
It's been so good to watch as well, because as a fellow countryman, every week we've been watching the golf going, yes, Ross Fisher's up there again, amazing. And you're spending a lot of time over in America now, you're playing in all the majors, the Memorial, the Players. How are you balancing your schedule? Because it's always a tricky thing to get the balance right, I imagine.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I suppose for me, back in the day when I was top 50 in the world, trying to balance it then, obviously with young family as well, it was very, very difficult. And then I guess the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't had that trouble of having to balance it. But this year, obviously, with the WGCs, like you're saying, finally actually taken up an opportunity to play in Jack's tournament at the Memorial, which I've always wanted to play in, but it always fell after the week at Wentworth. But this year, when I knew I could play in it and I got the invitation, it was something I was definitely going to take up. So, it is tricky, because when you're away from home, like I say, that week I think I was the Memorial, and then I had a week off and I stayed in the States to prepare for the US Open. You obviously miss your family back home, missing Joe and the 2 kids at home, so it's tough. But when you come back to Europe, it's nice because you get to go home on a Sunday night and see the kids, and stay home on Monday and then travel up to the next tournament on Tuesday. So it's still trying to find the right balancing act, playing in Europe, playing in America. Before it was probably more essential to play more in America, whereas now, obviously, what Keith Pelly's done to the European Tour with the Rolex Series events added this year, it's made our tour even stronger than it ever has been. So it's very, very hard to pick schedules, because there's so many great tournaments to play in. Obviously for me, I skipped Ireland this year because I didn't want to play 3 tournaments and then the 4th one being a major this week. So it's very, very difficult to pick and choose. So I'm trying my best to find which ones are right for me, and like you say, so far this year's gone well, so fingers crossed the rest of the year can carry on.
Good stuff, Ross. Well, it's so good to catch up with you. I hope the form continues, I'm sure it will, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you. Cheers, Anna. Thank you.